What's going on, guys? Back at y'all with another video today. Today, we are going to be previewing the NFC Championship game featuring the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the Green Bay Packers. We wanted to discuss the three main things each team needed to do to go win this football game. Gavin, why don't you get us started with the Packers?
Yeah, I have a list of three things I think the Packers need to do. But at the top of that list, I think winning the turnover battle is going to be the most important. It's going to be in Green Bay at Lambeau, so it's going to be always cold there. It's 34 for the high. There's going to be snow showers. There's going to be winds from 15 to 25 miles an hour. That's going to make it tough to throw the ball. And I think the Green Bay really needs to work on getting Brady to turn that ball over. This year, Tampa's defense has had 25 turnovers, which is fifth in the NFL, and the Packers' defense has only had 18 turnovers, which is 25th. So that's a big discrepancy there between rankings. And we saw last week it was a tough battle between the Saints and the Bucs, and Brady didn't look his best. And I think that's going to continue this week, especially against Jair Alexander. That front seven for the Packers, it's going to be tough. And I always thought turnovers are the biggest stat in affecting wins in the NFL, and I think that's really going to change it up today. And causing turnovers, that's really brought on by pressure. And I was going to let you talk about pressure this game, so take over.
Yeah. So we know from all the sample size that we have, pressure is what causes turnovers in the NFL, whether it be from strip sacks or from fumbles or from picks, especially with young quarterbacks. Brady's pretty well equipped to deal with it, but even he isn't the best under pressure. Obviously would prefer to not be under pressure. But specifically in this game, we have a pretty big battle between right tackle Tristan Wirfs for the Buccaneers. I believe was an All-Pro and Pro Bowl snub. Brandon Thorne, one of the best offensive line gurus I know out there on Twitter, he calls him one of the best offensive linemen in the game, even as a very young, raw rookie. So he's had an amazing rookie year, and he will be going against Zadarius Smith, who's been one of the best edge rushers over the last 2 years. He was third in sacks this year with 13. And I think this is going to be a really important battle to watch. I'll throw some clips on screen of both of these guys right now. Both absolute monsters, and it'll be really fun to watch. But the Packers and Mike Pettin, they have to dial up some pressure to get after Brady, because if Zadarius Smith isn't able to win this battle, it's going to be really tough, because aside from Jair Alexander, the secondary is not great. I know Adrian Amos has had a pretty good year, but with Chris Godwin and Antonio Brown, Brady's going to be able to get the ball out of his hands really quickly, and to kind of throw him off that platform, because when you give him that pocket, he's going to easily pick you apart. So they have to throw him off of that platform. And I think Zadarius Smith has to make a couple of big plays in this one. I think Kenny Clark has to get some pressure up the middle, because that's what Brady's always said he hates the most, is that interior pressure. So I think Kenny Clark has to have a big impact up the middle during the whole game, really. And I absolutely think that the pressure in this game can really, and the offensive line play for the Bucs can really dictate how it goes, because the Bucs offensive line has been one of the best in the league this year. And they need a big game to win this. Tristan Wirfs got to play a great game. And on the flip side, we're talking about the Packers, I know. Zadarius Smith has to win some big one-on-ones out there on the island against Tristan Wirfs. So next
Oh yeah, and
up,
I wanted to mention, talking about interior pressure. I remember last year in the Chiefs, was it last year or the year before, the Chiefs and the Patriots. I remember Chris Jones and Tom Brady really got into it a little bit.
Yeah.
And I think Chris Jones really kind of wrecked Brady's game. That could have been one of the biggest like reasons they lost and the Chiefs won.
Yeah.
So I think Kenny Clark's gonna have just the biggest role as those edge rushers.
Yeah, I believe that was 2 years ago. The Patriots didn't end up winning, but Chris Jones was in his face all game, and that's what historically has messed up Tom Brady. So I think that'll definitely be big. The other thing we wanted to talk about on the other side of the ball for the Packers on offense was they got to move Devonta Adams around. So we're going to talk about the reason why I think they have to do that to win in a little bit on the Bucs side. But Devonta, he does play in the slot some typically, but this year he's got like a 90% snap share. He averages like 11 targets a game. He has 19 touchdowns on the season. He's had a really great year, obviously a historic receiving year. But this Bucs defense is not easy, and I think they're going to have to move him around, get him in the slot. They're going to have to manufacture some touches for him on some bubble screens, some jet sweeps like they love to do. They got to get him the ball and let him work after the catch, because with the cold and with the wind and with the snow, this is going to be a pretty tough game for them to get the ball downfield. So I think they got to get the ball into his hands and let him cook, because he's had a great year, and they got to move him around, man. They got to get him the ball in space and let him cook. So I
I'm
think,
sure they will.
yeah, definitely. He's a great year. So yeah, I think that's it for the Packers. What do you think is the most important thing for the Bucs to do on offense to go win this game?
Yeah, for the Bucks, I think their number one thing is going to be to spread the ball around on offense. Like you look at it, and that's just like a Madden Ultimate Team dream team. You got
Yeah,
Mike Evans, the
definitely.
big guy. You got Chris Godwin, a guy who's kind of shifty and get open. Antonio Brown, he's a little
One
kooky, but whenever
one of the
whenever
best
he's
ever.
healthy in the brain, he's the best.
One of the best
He's
ever.
all time. He's all
So
time. And then you got Gronk, of course, which
yeah,
that Brady Gronk connection, that's something special too. So he's got an abundance of weapons, and I feel like if he can spread the ball around, he's just going to pick that Packers defense apart. I know the weather will have a factor in throwing the ball, so they're probably going to run the ball a little bit more with Rojo. Probably not Leonard Fournette because he's pretty bad.
yeah,
Um, but I think with all those weapons, they're going to have to stay away from Jair Alexander. He put up a crazy stat last week where he allowed -3 passing yards
yeah.
to his receiver that he was covering, which that's insane. And I think he'll probably. You think he's going to shade over anybody in specific, or
Probably Mike Evans. He'll probably
everyone's
shadow
over
Mike
him?
Evans. I know the Bucks have been moving Mike Evans to the slot more this year, but I do believe Alexander will probably mostly be on Mike Evans, maybe some Antonio Brown because Chris Godwin likes to stay in the slot a lot. But yeah, I think I agree with you. They're definitely going to have to avoid him because he's been playing at a really elite level this year, and I think
Yeah,
that's important for them in offense for sure. And so I
yeah,
was
but
just talking about Devonte Adams on the Packers side of the ball. Now let's flip it to the Bucs side. So Carlton Davis this year for the Bucs, he was a Pro Bowler. He in recent memory he had some pretty bad games, and I'll throw some videos of Tyreek Hill on there to remind y'all. But Carlton Davis had a really good this year. He's kind of like a late breakout. I want to say he's in year 3 or 4, but he had a great year for Todd Bowles in that defense. And who has he shined most against? Devontae Adams, I want to say it was week 3. He held to 6 catches and 61 yards on 10 targets, which was Devontae's worst game of the year. It was definitely his least efficient. I mean, only
mm-hmm.
60 yards and 10 targets isn't great. And Michael Thomas, over 2 games against him, Michael Thomas has 9 targets, 3 catches, 17 yards. So Carlton Davis against these bigger physical receivers has absolutely locked them down. And that's why I was saying for the Packers, they got to move Devontae Adams around. For the Bucs, Carlton Davis has to get up and has to go win this game because that's what Todd Bowles is going to ask him to do. He's going to want to blitz a lot. He's going to want to get Rodgers off of his game because Rodgers at his best is he is the most efficient quarterback in NFL history. We were talking about the turnover battle earlier. Rodgers isn't going to turn it over a lot unless he's forced to. And I know Todd Bowles is going to want him to get off of his game. And to do that, he's going to have to leave Carlton Davis in an island against Devontae Adams. And he's got to have another big performance. And he's had a great playoff run. He's shut down Michael Thomas over both times. He had a great game against Devontae Adams the first time. And he's got to go prove that he is an elite corner in the league. I think that's very important for them to win this one.
And he's probably got a lot of confidence after these last 2 weeks in the playoffs. So I think he'll probably carry that in the next week. And if you look at it, Devontae and Michael Thomas, they don't play that different. Like they both I believe they average like 7 or 8 yards per catch, which is pretty low. So you're going to see a lot of like slant boy, that's his name. You're going to see a lot of slants. You're going to see a lot of bubble screens. You're going to see a lot of like short passes. And I think if he can cover Michael Thomas like that, he should be pretty successful on Sunday.
Yeah, definitely. It'll be really interesting. Davis has struggled against the shiftier guys. Against Robert Woods, had a great game against him, and obviously Tyreek Hill had a historic game against him. But like you said, the confidence is a big deal for these corners. And you saw him on the sideline during that Tyreek Hill game against the Chiefs. He was just crushed, man. These guys' confidence is so important to them, and he has been balling as of late. And I do think he can get up for a big game against Devontae Adams, and that'll be really important. Okay, so we also wanted to talk about Brady's playoff experience. I don't even think we have to throw the stats out there of how many playoff games he has versus even the next guy in NFL history. I want to say it's double. After last week, he's double the playoff wins of the next closest quarterback, which was probably like Joe Montana or Steve Young or something. But he's played more playoff games by far than anyone in history, and this will be a really, really good game. This is a heavyweight battle. I think me and my dad were talking earlier. These 4 teams, we'll talk about the AFC maybe in another video, but the 4 teams that are left are definitely the teams that deserve to be here. These are all great teams. These should be 2 good games, and I'm really excited to watch Brady versus this Packers defense.
Yeah, he's definitely he has he has the experience. He knows where he knows what to do in this position in the playoffs. He's been here before more times than we can count. It's just he
Yeah,
has something to prove too. You know, Belichick. Who is it? Is it Belichick? Is it Brady? Who was it that won them all them Super Bowls?
yeah,
So if Brady can win himself another Super Bowl with the Bucs, I think that's kind of like a big fu to Bill Belichick, and that's just
yeah, for sure.
even it'll just push them further and can.
He definitely takes it personal. I mean, Belichick. We were discussing earlier. Belichick tried to trade him. I mean, Brady definitely takes that personal. He wants to. He wants to win this. He wants this really bad. And, I mean, he's
Hmm.
still playing at 43. Do you really think he needs to play football? No, he doesn't. He loves doing it. So,
Yeah.
yeah. So picking this game, who do you got? So Green Bay is favored by 3, meaning the Bucs are +3 to win, and you would win the bet if the Bucs covered the 3 points.
So I'm not gonna pick the spread because these are just too close. I'm just gonna pick a
Okay.
winner
We'll
here.
just pick the winners. Yeah.
Gosh, it's so tough, man. Like it's just a classic. Like we have to appreciate this right here. You
For
know,
sure.
Brady's 43, Rodgers he's 37, I believe.
Yeah.
Like this is the end of an era. Like two of the best quarterbacks of all time, and we get to watch it here. I think home field. Well, COVID, so that's not going to be that big of a factor. Brady's used to playing in the cold.
He is. Yeah.
I feel like that Bucks team is a lot younger. I could be wrong. I just have a feeling. All besides Brady, I feel like they're pretty young and they
Yeah.
don't have as much
Their defense is
experience.
very young. Yeah.
I think I'm going to go Packers on this one. I know I was saying Bucks earlier, but after talking about it, I think Packers are going to take it. It'll be close though.
Yeah.
And on the spread part, or not the spread, the over under 51 points. That I think it will be a defensive game. I'm going to take the under on that.
Yeah. I think
I'll
the
take the
that over under is definitely counting for the wind and the snow and the ugly weather because usually these two teams you'd think would score a lot more points than that. Um,
under.
I will probably
What about
take
you?
I'll take the over on that on the 51 points, and I'm gonna go with the Bucks, man, because I really think that this Todd Bowles coach defense has improved a ton from last year. They're not constantly being thrown back onto the field because of Jameis Winston throwing 30 interceptions. They're playing really well. They have probably the best linebacker duo in the league in Devin White and Levante David. They've got a great run defense, which they're going to need to stop Aaron Jones and this really good Packers offensive line. And I think Carlton Davis gets up and has a pretty good game against Devontae Adams. So I'm going to go with the Bucks. I think Brady gets another win, gets back to a Super Bowl, and should be a great one. So, yeah.
See.
All right. Thanks for watching, guys. Like, comment, subscribe, and follow us on Twitter. The links will be down below. And yeah, hope you guys have a great day. See you next time.